There's someone that's very, very young and goes into a marriage and has kids when they're like 18, 19, 20. A year into the relationship, it gets really, really abusive. Even though it might be rare from what you guys think.
It is.
If it would happen, what would you recommend for those people? Would they divorce, or do you want them to keep going in the relationship?
Keep going.
You can't divorce, and that's not a real thing.
Even though it might be like physically abusive?
You got to endure. People are too...
You want to stick in the
People
relationship?
are just...
I mean, look,
people
I'm gonna be
nowadays
honest.
are just...
For anyone that might be in that situation, what would you recommend?
Okay,
Endure.
I'll tell
Would
you
they
what.
give
I'll
up
tell you what.
divorce?
It is such an extreme example that I can't give a prescription for what other people should do.
What about if two people get married, they have a kid, and then the wife starts cheating? Do you think they should divorce?
Absolutely. Jesus himself said in cases of adultery, divorce is
So you think that
permissible.
divorce is worse than physical abuse?
No,
For the
cheating.
Or
children?
cheating, sorry. You think that
Cheating
cheating
is
is worse than physical abuse?
For the
Sorry.
children, yes.
Absolutely
I think I'm not going to say this is worse.
Divorce is worse for the children.
wait.
Okay, so I saw this video when I was scrolling through Instagram, and I really wanted to be a part of this conversation and give you guys my feedback on it for a number of reasons. One, I feel like there are a lot of people who hear certain conversations of like, people give up too easy when it comes to marriages, and people are so quick to file for divorce instead of working things out. And I think there's a space where a lot of people don't understand what is giving up too easy and what are things that they should be working through. And so in this particular video, obviously you guys could see this woman and this man were having, these women and these men were having dialogue. And basically, when asking about, physical harm, then the men were saying, endure, stop. People are weak. People need to just deal with it. And then in regards to cheating, they were saying that that's worse for the children. And I thought that was mind-boggling. I'm not going to lie. I thought that was very mind-boggling because, interestingly enough, first off, let me start off with this. When most of the time when there's conversations like this, the reason why women bring up the extreme of physical harm is because they know that there's going to be nobody with common sense that is going to completely disregard that is something that is, first of all, circumstantial when it comes to if you should leave or not. But second of all, it's also something that, people are going to seem crazy if they say, oh, you should stick through it. You should stand there in the paint. They know that that's going to be hard for them to combat. So usually if there's a conversation and they are not at the space where they want to be in the conversation, or they're not leading the conversation, they usually throw in that kind of divot just so that they can have an upper hand in the conversation. So I just want to start up with that. I'm very aware of that. Okay. So I don't want anybody to think that I'm confused about that, because I know, like, just like when people are talking about, women who have the ability to not bring life into this world, and that women bring, the straight upper hook of the most extreme situation, so that people can say like, oh, well, in that situation, we understand. A lot of women do that. But anyway, when it comes to something in the realm of physical harm, right? There's levels to that conversation. And so say for instance, it's a situation where, and again, all these things are circumstantial. Okay. All of these things are very circumstantial. When we talk about maybe somebody who, has a problem when it comes to alcoholism, or when it comes to, doing substances or whatever, and they get into a certain state and they become, harmful. And when they're not with any of these substances, they are normal. They're not like that. We already know that getting to the root of the problem is extremely important. And so now you know that you're dealing with somebody who is struggling with something. Right? And so the best thing to do for that person is to get them assistance, get them help, try to find them help. Do I think that in particular should be an end all be all for the entire relationship? Again, it's circumstantial. How far did this thing go? How far, did this person take it? What were the ramifications of it? I think that's something that could possibly be worked through. Okay, let's just be real, because for them to have gotten into a situation where they are struggling with something to begin with, that as you keep on digging, there's deeper rooted issues that are attached to this situation. right? So the first step would be getting this person help, which would be removing them from you so that they can be better. But you are like on the phone, you're contacting them, you're working through them, you're working through these things with them. Okay. Now I have to be honest. When we go to a situation where it's somebody who they just get mad and they just get angry and they lash out, that is dangerous. Why is that dangerous? Because now, especially if you are in a relationship with this person for the long haul, or you have children with this person, it is not something that is attached to something else. Okay, this is something that is just being on full display. It's just happening. You don't know when it's gonna come. You don't know when it's gonna happen. You're not inducing anything. And I have to purposely say that because a lot of women will claim that they're in situations that they're not even in. And if we want to be honest, you the one that's punching. Okay, you the one that get mad, go stand in this person's face, block the door, you throw the first hit, you do this. And yes, it should not be a situation where this person is also combative, but we do have a lot of situations where women will light the match and throw it and then turn on and be like, oh my gosh, I can't believe this is happening. How did this happen? Oh my gosh, I'm the victim. So I have to bring light to that. Because we got to be real. We have to have the full conversation. Okay? But if it's something that you are not inducing anything, this is something that you realize that this person has a repetitive nature of doing. You know, you're not adding fuel. You're not doing this. You're not doing that. And out of nowhere, and then they come back and they say, I'm sorry. Okay, this person has a deeper rooted problem. Do I think that it's smart for you to be there and just stand there and endure? No, I don't. I don't. That's detrimental to your health. And this goes with a man to a woman and with a woman to a man, because a lot of people think that this kind of harm can only happen to a woman, and it cannot. There are men who are in relationships with women who just take everything out on them. And as a man, you look less than if you call, the police, or if you do this, or if you, tell people, it's like, oh man, you couldn't restrain your girl. No. We got to be real about this. So do I think that people should just stand there and endure when people are just outrageous, and when their emotions are, a little bit upset, or their emotions are stepped on, their feelings are hurt, that they just lash out on everybody? No. That's detrimental to everybody's health. That does not make sense. That does not make sense. And again, if you have children now, this is going to be something that is a huge red flag, because if your child, if you don't know what you do and something happens, imagine if there's children in the mix. You're going to have a mom that just lash out on her child out of nowhere, and it's just because she just in one of them moods, or a father the same thing. That's unhealthy. That's unhealthy. Another thing I want to say about that too, before we get to the cheating part, is that a lot of people do not thoroughly vet their partners. She said something very key. She asked somebody who was 18, 19, and 20 years old, right? The reason why this is so key is because a lot of times at this age, you don't have the proper tools to thoroughly know what you're getting into, what being married entails, what a full relationship entails if you have a lack of experience. Most of the time at 18, 19, 20, you have a strong lack of experience, because being boyfriend and girlfriend in high school and being in a full-fledged relationship or marriage where you're going to be required to do adult things, make adult decisions that may be very difficult, is incomparable. It's not the same thing. Okay, where you just going to your mama house and to the movies, and you're not, the people who are at the forefront making tough decisions. It's very hard. And so vetting a person is extremely important. This is why in these conversations, I always bring light to, I always make such a big deal of, being able to see how this person reacts when you tell them no over something that they really want to do or something that they really want. Because if you allow people to show you who they are, they will. If you go in and you start saying, well, I don't want somebody who does this. I don't want somebody who does this. I don't, I can't deal with this. Sometimes you need to sit back and watch time. Time is what shows you who somebody is. Don't listen to the people who are telling you you have to hurry up and, get married in 3 months, 6 months, and you 19, 20 years old. That don't make no sense. You don't have experience. You need to look at this person, watch this person, see how this person moves, see how this person deals with family members, see how this person deals with anger. See how this person articulates themselves when they're upset. Again, tell them no. See how they react when they're told no. See how they react when things don't go their way. It's important. It's very, very crucial. Now, when we go to cheating now, again, these things are circumstantial. However, cheating is definitely, absolutely, positively nowhere near as detrimental as physical harm. That's just duh. Okay, that's a no-brainer. Second of all, when it comes to with the ending of the video and the man said that it's worse for children, it's absolutely not. It is absolutely not. When it becomes bad for children, when there's a problem between parents, is when the parents bring it to the child. Because children go off of the emotions that their parents provide. If their parents are still providing a happy, wholesome relationship connection between the two, if they don't see a huge difference, they will not be majorly affected. When the parents, and primarily women do this, go to the children and start talking and start saying this stuff and start making up stuff and start infiltrating the children's mind, that's when it becomes extremely detrimental for the children. Because they're putting off emotions onto the children. And I say primarily the women because mostly women do that. Let's just be real. So cheating is something that can be worked through. Absolutely. Bottom line. And because there's different levels of cheating, and it's also what is the situation that happened that caused this. If this is somebody who just want to be a player from the Himalayas, okay, and this is just something that he do, it ain't nothing that got really anything to do with you. This is just something that he is known for, or it's just something that he is repetitive in doing, and you are not down with this. I understand if you are saying I can't. Okay, I tried to get through it. I can't, because it can be very taxing to your mental health. Very. If it's a situation where you in a relationship with this person and you are not providing them intimacy, you are not providing them affection, y'all are always arguing, y'all are always nagging, it's always something between the two of you, and you guys cannot get to the base, you guys have a deeper problem. You have a way different problem. You might think the problem is here, but when you get that shovel and you start digging, you realize how far those roots really go. And it's something that there should be a conversation about, for sure. A lot of people, because of how society tells you to react. Society, when you look at reality TV, when you look at social media, everything tells you that if somebody does something to you, and I'm going to say something I know a lot of women are not going to like, before I even go to that point, cheating, when it's a man who's stepping out on a woman and when it's a woman stepping out on a man, is two very different things. When a woman cheats on a man, that relationship with that first man is completely over. Because this person has infiltrated this woman emotionally. It's a lot. It's not more than just intimate. It's definitely something that, there's a connection. There's a bond there. There's a space that this person, you feel like this person has filled for you. And once you allow somebody to enter, that's it. Okay, that's a very different thing. There's men who have forgiven women for doing that, but that is a very that's very sticky territory. Because for men can shut off emotion and do something you know, out of just it happening, out of it being accessible, out of you know, just trying to fulfill a need, and it doesn't go any further than that. And again, there are anomalies to each situation. There are women who can have the ability to turn that off. That's very rare. There are women who have the ability to turn off their emotions and fulfill a need. That's extremely rare because we're made up completely different. We have men who will have emotional connections. Again, that's rare. Let's just be honest. Most men know how to categorize what's home, what's not home. Right? What's an emotional connection and what's something that's scratching an itch. Let's just start there. But in society, you know, when you look at reality TV, when you look at movies, when you look at social media, it's supposed to tell women how to react. Right? Oh, he cheated on you. You're supposed to act like this. You're supposed to do this. You're supposed to go crazy. You're supposed to throw his stuff out the window. You're supposed to, you know, tell him that you're leaving him. You're supposed to just leave and never look back because how could he do that to you? That's not reality. Reality is that being in a relationship with somebody, if things go to a certain extent, you have to be able to try to put back the pieces together. It don't mean it might be instant. It don't mean that it's going to be something that you do the next day, but there is something that's going to have to happen for you guys to get back on one accord because that's what marriage is. Sometimes you go through some really tough times. Sometimes you go through hardships and you have to be able to know how to bring everything back together. A lot of women talk about cheat. Oh, well, I'm not going to be with no relationship with a man who's cheating on me. But then in the same token, you get into a relationship with a man and, you know, you betray him by acting like somebody completely different than he got into a relationship with. You blame it on your hormones, okay, which could be true, but let's just be honest. Hormonally, okay, it could be you had a child, it could be whatever it is, but you change into a person that he does not know, you become somebody completely different. The things that you used to do for him, you don't do no more. The way you used to talk to him, you don't talk to him anymore. And you betray your man in that way, and he sticks it out with you. Right? You might say, oh, well, you know, at least I'm not, you know, laying with nobody else. But sometimes you guys are being so kind, so loving, so considerate for other people, and you're not doing it for him. You're willing to be nice to everybody else. And as soon as he comes around, you treat him like garbage. It's equivalent. It's the same thing. It's betrayal in different ways. A lot of y'all go to the office, y'all be telling y'all homegirls, all y'all business, all your man's business, everything that's going on within your life, that's betrayal. A lot of you guys are submissive and kind and cooperative to your boss who pays you, who signs your paycheck, but you're not cooperative, submissive to your man in your home. That's betrayal. Let's be honest. So a lot of these things can be worked through. And again, since she's talking about people who are 18, 19, 20, these are the things that I'm talking about. These are the things that are necessary for you to, because you don't have the tools, you have to kind of learn and grow with each other and understand what it is, what it's not, what it's supposed to be, what it's not supposed to be. It's not easy. But you have to, when embarking on something like a marriage, you have to have the mentality that you're going to be able to conquer or go through or do hard things with this person. And again, this is not a one-size-fits-all conversation that I'm having right now when it comes to the physical harm and when it comes to the cheating. This is not a one-size-fits-all conversation because there are so many different questions that could be asked. There's so many different factors. There's so many different things that we could ask to talk about what would make sense and what would not make sense. That's why when I see these clips and people just saying things like, oh, endure, or this, or that, and there's no more context, that's very dangerous. Very dangerous. But I want to know what you guys think about this. Before I take up any more of your time, I want to know what you guys think about this in the comment section down below. I'd love to hear you guys' opinions on this video. Make sure you guys hit that subscribe button and give this video a thumbs up. And I will see you guys in the next one. Love you.